You're listening to Satellite Sisters.
What's a satellite sister?
The person you call when the best thing in your life happens or the worst.
The person that gets you up, gets you going, and gets you through.
And every once in a while, changes your mind.
This podcast is part pep talk, part weekly check-in.
Like grabbing coffee with a friend.
Thanks for being here. Welcome to the Satellite Sisterhood.
You are listening to Satellite Sisters. Thank you for being here today. We're glad you're here. I'm Lian Dolan. I'm in Pasadena, California. I'm a podcaster. I'm a writer. I'm a producer. And I'm happy to be with my sisters today. Jewel?
Hey, it's Julie Dolan. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I'm the eldest sister. I'm a podcaster and just thrilled to be here today.
So enthusiastic.
Just trying something new there.
Okay. Love to hear it. I'm Liz Dolan. I'm in Santa Monica. I am a marketer and a podcaster, and I'm also very excited for our Sense of Adventure show, Lian.
That's right. It's Sense of Adventure today. It's the fourth part of our Uncommon Senses series. So that informed our question of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And here it is, girls. Something you wouldn't do for any amount of money. What is something you would not do for any amount of money? Julie?
Okay. Hot air balloon. Okay. 2 words there. Wicker basket. Well, who thought it was a good idea to go up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet in a wicker basket? And don't even get me started on the balloon and the fire and the hot air. No. I'm not. I know people think it's romantic. No amount of money would get me in one of those things.
Okay.
Liz, how about you?
Right. Well, my answer is not nearly as spectacular as Julie's. I dug deep for this one, sisters. I thought for no amount of money would I become an ophthalmologist? Because just looking into people's eyeballs, just eyeballs give me the heebie-jeebies business. That's it. No way.
Can you imagine having an ophthalmologist who got the heebie-jeebies looking at eyeballs?
I would be a very poor choice. How about you, Lian?
Okay, I'm going to say any vessel or vehicle that a billionaire has developed. Okay, I'm not going under the water in a sub. I'm not going up in space. I don't want to sit in the back of a self-driving car. That's it. Those are not doing it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not doing it. Not doing it. All right, today is our Sense of Adventure show. We can't wait to talk about this. This is from our book, Satellite Sisters, Uncommon Senses, and we're spending the last 5 shows of 2023 reviewing the 5 uncommon senses. We've already talked about sense of connection, sense of self, sense of humor. Today is sense of adventure, and next week is sense of direction. On the show today, Julie, you'll have one of our mom's, classic lines, which has really been a touchstone for all of us, but particularly you. What did our mom used to say to us when we were trying something hard?
You'll be fine, dear. You'll be fine. Okay. She had no knowledge about whether or not we would be fine or not fine, but that was her mantra. That's what she would say to everyone. You'll be fine, dear.
Yeah. It's helpful. It's good. You're going to explain that. So, Liz, we're doing a segment at the end, adventures we'd like to have. So that's something people can think about. I can't think of anything you personally haven't done yet, Liz. So I'm curious. You feel, Julie, a lot of adventures.
Yeah. I sort of have a TBD on this one for now, but I'm going to think it up in time for the Sense of Direction show, Lian. That's my goal. So I'm setting a goal for myself on my next adventure.
There you go. And stay with us because we do have an important announcement. We're going to tell you what's happening with Satellite Sisters in 2024. But first, we'll start with the opening essay, Sense of Adventure. Now, in our book, Monica wrote this one, and she did a lovely job. It was all about the places she's lived and moving all over the place. And we're just going to pull out some of the key pieces of that essay and how we developed our sense of direction. Remember, there are 5 Dolan girls and 3 Dolan boys. I think we've already established we lived in a home. There were rules, but little oversight. Our parents had big personalities, and we always had someone we could go somewhere with when you have that many siblings in the family. So those were all key. I think we were just open to new adventures because our parents were relatively open to new adventures. I don't think you wouldn't look at my dad and go, there's Mr. Outdoors. He was not. He was Mr.
No.
Dad was Mr. Indoors. But he'd go anywhere indoors. You want to go to the opera? You want to go to a museum? You want to go to a Broadway show? He'd stand on the sidelines of the New York City Marathon. He would just jump in the car and take us places. And I never once heard Dad say, "Oh, we can't go because we'll never get parking." I mean, did you ever say that?
No.
Yeah. And our mom was more sort of outdoorsy. She and her twin sister taught themselves to ski when they were 40 so that they could take their, get this, 17 collective children skiing. Okay. Does that sound fun to you, mothers?
Oh, yeah. And pack the lunch too, right? Don't forget that.
Yeah. And we'd pile in that station wagon and we'd drive to Vermont, and invariably the batteries would go dead on the car. And so someone would break a leg, but it didn't matter. Like, she was packing that station wagon. We always had food with us and we go. And I think the combination of the two of them really set us up to be both independent and interdependent. You know, we had the skills to kind of go alone, but we could always take a sibling if we needed some guidance or some help or just somebody to tag along. Now, one of the things our parents insisted we learn how to do was use public transportation, which
right.
It's not glamorous.
It's so fundamental. It was so fundamental to our sense of independence because they were not going to take us anywhere.
Right. I mean, yeah, that was it. Like, if we could get there under our own steam, or if we just get there, it'd be fine. And we lived outside of New York City along the Eastern Seaboard. So, you know, Amtrak was always there for us. And even around town, we took the bus, you know, around town. Our parents did not drive us anywhere. So we
walked a lot too. I mean, we walked.
I did. We did.
We did walk a lot.
When I think about like getting to the train station, there was a lot of walking to that train station.
There's a reason I literally never get on a bike because I had to bike everywhere as a child. I'm like, I'm over it.
Some resentment, childhood resentment. Okay.
But, you know, learning how to read a map, a train schedule, that was all very helpful in our sense of adventure. And I think we took that to go into the city. Like, I think living outside of the city, New York, definitely meant we weren't that intimidated by other cities in the world. Do you think that would be true?
Yeah, I think that's true.
I mean, I've told this story on the show before, but I took the train with my friend when I was in 7th grade to go to New York by ourselves.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was the same age. Yeah.
I mean, I was 12.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot. So
there are plenty of 12-year-olds who live in the city and it works fine for them. So yeah, I think there was no fear.
So we had sort of no fear in a good way, even though New York at the time was very dangerous. We believed in public, you know, we knew how to use public transportation. Our parents little to no oversight, and they just let us do things. And then our mom also had the adage that good planning makes good fun. And I think we all became really good planners at how we were going to execute our exit, basically. Like, we got to get out of this house. What are we doing? So I think those all sort of fed into our sense of adventure. And certainly, you know, Julie, you've lived all over the world. Liz, you've traveled all over the world. You've all been to super exotic places. Me, not so much. But, you know, I did join a middle-aged ladies dance troupe, and that's pretty adventurous. I like to give some credit for that.
Yes. Right, where the public can come see you dance. I think that's the adventurous part.
But last month, or a couple of weeks ago, I actually went to Spain for a long weekend. And it was a little bit unlike me because, Spain is a long way to go from Los Angeles. I
was so shocked when I heard about this trip. I was like, where are you going, Lian?
Yeah.
You're doing what?
My dear college friend, Andrew, has lived in Spain for 20 years. And for a variety of reasons, I have never been to see his house there. Now, I've seen him a lot in the U.S. We've run into each other. We'd make plans, but I have not been to his home in Madrid, where he lives with his husband, Roger, and 2 kids. And our third college friend, he spurred us on a year ago. He said, we have to go. It's the 40th anniversary of our friendship. We met, you know, first day of school, freshman year at college. We need to all go to Madrid together. And it was one of those things we kept like putting off the dates and switching in. Of course, people have lives and deadlines and aging parents and things like that. But when we finally put it on the calendar, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going to Spain. And it was a 5-day trip to Spain. Is it a long way to go to Spain from Los Angeles? Yes, it is, you guys. I'm not going to get I'm not going to
I
kid
mean,
you.
there is something to just putting it on the calendar because that,
Totally.
that sets the date. You're not just discussing it anymore.
Right.
That's a real deliberate step in planning your adventure. Yeah.
Right. And international travel, you have to execute that, early. We didn't go too early, though. It was about a month before. I'm like, I guess we're going to Spain. And once I did, it was such a treat to go. Of course, it made me think, why have I waited 20 years? But I know why. Life happens. We had jobs, kids, global financial crisis. Things happen, Liz, Julie.
Pandemics. Yes.
Pandemics, cancer. Yeah, I know. But I really did think of you guys when I was finally like getting to LAX and going, because it's like, Julie and Liz used to do this all the time, like go to Europe for the weekend. Liz, that was your job.
That was my job. Yes.
You were very inspiring to me to get me there. And once I got there, it was just an unbelievably beautiful trip. It was great to see him there. It was like, to live in someone's home and to see his kids and get to spend time with his husband was great. We went to beautiful museums. We went to a flamenco show. We got on a high-speed train and we went to Cordoba for the day. And, where they had their trains are so nice. They have high-speed trains. They actually have food service on the train, Julie and Liz. They brought us like a hot meal at lunch and at dinner when we got back on the train. It was fantastic. My friend Andrew is a travel writer, so that means you really know where you're going.
The perfect person to travel with.
Literally is the perfect person to travel with. And so I'll put links to some of his stories in the show notes. So in case you're headed to Spain, he's written for 20 years for the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal on Spain. All I can say is I'm so glad I did it. And I was proud of myself because I easily could have talked myself out of it.
I bet. I don't have time to do this.
I don't have time. I'm
hook
on
up
deadline.
An excuse. You have COVID.
Yeah.
Something, right?
Yeah.
You could have definitely failed.
I didn't even think to lie.
Not that people lie about that. I'm just saying. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Or I could have gotten COVID, but it was just a really fantastic trip. And when we got there, we put it all together. I'm like, we have not spent a weekend together, the three of us, in 20 years. And that's
just so great.
A reminder that time can go by really quickly.
Yeah.
And then, so it was just, I'm really glad I did it. And I think it was just those basic skills. Public transportation. I'm headed in. I'm going to Spain for a long weekend. Fantastic.
Good. Well, Lian, you mentioned it at the top of the show that I wrote an essay in this section of the book entitled "You'll Be Fine, Dear." And that really was our mother's mantra when, particularly growing up with 8 kids, there was a lot of fierce games going on outside. Inevitably, somebody would get a dodgeball in their face or something. Yeah. And I can remember one time going in with a split lip, from some baseball that hit my face rather than, come over the plate. And I was really seeking comfort and support from Mom. And while she did sort of take a look at the lip, she just said, "You'll be fine, dear. You'll be fine." That was it. That was about as much, sort of sympathy and support that I was going to get. And I can remember at other points in my life where I was faced with some new challenge, new adventure, something that seemed hard, whether it was a new school or, when I had a new baby. She would always just say the same thing. "You'll be fine, dear." Even when I didn't think I was going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But it did, Liz, it always made me sort of stop whining, sort of wash my face and keep going. Now, I know we all need people in our life to reassure us. You want a support, a community around you. But sometimes you also need people who don't really listen. And that's the case. When I was thinking about this, it's was Mom really listening to how afraid I was or how much, how overwhelmed I was when I had the new baby? Was she saying I was going to be okay because she wasn't listening, or did she really think I was going to be okay? But
it didn't really matter. In the end, it emboldened you.
Right. I think that's true. And, one of the big adult learnings that I've had for me is basically nobody cares, I mean,
Yeah.
that in many ways is a good thing, because people don't care because they have their own things going on in their lives. I mean, it's not like they don't want to care, but they're busy. And sometimes you think other people are like, oh, they're going to care so much if you're doing this. No, they don't care. They don't care. So it was sort of like, you'll be
They
fine.
don't care, but in a good way. I mean, they're
Right,
interested in you and supportive of you. But yeah, you're right. They've got their own stuff going on. They're really
Right.
mainly focused on that.
Yes. But I think this whole you'll be fine approach to life, to new adventures, new experiences, really made me less indulgent. It trained me to like pull myself together, like, okay, this might be hard, but we're going to do it. And we're going to get through it. And it also really helped me put things in perspective, whether it was a split lip. Yes, I was going to recover from the split lip, and sometimes you think these things just seem overwhelming to us, but they're really not that hard. I mean, so when I had to move to Thailand, that was hard. Okay.
That was hard.
Yes.
That was hard. Or when I had to move to Russia, that was very
Oh
hard.
man, so hard.
But what did our mother say? Oh, you'll be fine. You'll get there. You'll be fine. Okay. And there were things that were difficult, but I mean, I also reflect now as an adult that new hard experiences are going to keep coming at us, whether we like it or not. Right.
Right.
I mean,
That's so true. That's a really
Right?
interesting thought. Yes.
yeah. And you
Plus,
have
they're
to-
probably good for us.
yes.
I mean,
right.
that probably keeps us sharp and keeps you engaged and keeps you on edge. I think there's nothing wrong with being on edge every once in a while.
Because but if you can rise to the challenge of this new adventure, a new experience, always knowing, like in the back of your mind, that you'll be fine, dear.
Mhm.
See?
Good one. Yeah.
It's funny as you're telling this story, Julie, like I hear both of you when you talk to your children, and you often say to your children, I know you'll make the right decision. And Lian, you often say to your children, I believe in you. And it's so
That's
good.
true.
Aren't they just all versions of the same thing? Like, it's going to be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, like, go for it.
It is
Right?
true. That is true.
It's the same. That's true.
So,
Yeah.
and are you listening when you say that? Maybe, but maybe you just, but whatever. Anyway, that was funny. It just made me think of mom. All right. One other thought about sense of adventure, Lian, when you were talking about like the combo of independence and interdependence. I think we did learn that because, well, there were so many of us. Usually, if you wanted to get a ride somewhere, you had to depend on an older sibling, especially
Right.
because you were the youngest of 8. But, the ability to like get along and go along so you would be included was important. I think I talked about that last week. But this reminded me of another thing. When I decided, see, I was 30, I was living in New York City, and I was offered a job in Portland, Oregon. And so, I was thinking about it and I was pretty sure I was going to take it. And I called our sister Monica, who was living in New Orleans at the time. And she
With
was
me. That's what she was doing down there. She was a visiting nurse.
Yes.
But the reason she came there is because I was there.
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Monica was a traveling nurse and had gone to a lot of different cities, like ski season, wanting to be near Lake Tahoe, that kind of thing. Anyway, she had been in New Orleans for a while. And anyway, I called her. We were just talking on the phone the way you do. And I said,
What people used to actually talk
Yes.
on a phone. Right.
yes, it's true. Yes. So I told her that it looked like I was going to be leaving New York City and moving to Portland. And she was like, I was thinking of moving to Seattle next. But if you're going to Portland, I'll go to Portland. And now Monica is still living in Portland. I've lived in a bunch of other places since, but it was the ability. I didn't need someone to go with me. I would have been fine moving to Portland on my own, but it was so much more fun that Monica and I both moved there at the same time and had very different lives once we got there. Well, first we lived in a motel for a couple of months and then found a place to live. But because she was a nurse, she could just like walk into any hospital and get an instant job. Anyway, it's just so funny when I think about that. Just think, was going to go to Seattle, but Portland, fine. Okay, I'm in. So
As if they're totally interchangeable too.
no,
Close enough. See, that's fine.
yeah. But and that was a huge life decision for her, it turns out, because that's where she ended up staying all of these years. So I just thought that was interesting, that she never would have gone there if I wasn't going. And it was great for me that she was coming along with. So that was just an observation. And then one other memorable line about adventures when I was rereading this chapter, Lian, there is an essay about when we all at the last minute drove up to the Lake Placid Olympics together, and there was a lot of drama. Anyway, there's a line in that just says, it's easy to talk yourself out of spontaneity. And I think that's super true. Yeah. And I try to remind myself of that. It's like, you going to Spain? Well, not exactly spontaneous, but imagine how hard it was for mom and dad knowing that there were 8 of us to take everywhere. It would have been easy for them to never take us anywhere.
To go anywhere. To go anywhere, really.
They embraced their sense of adventure, and I think that's what taught us that we should too.
All right, stay with us. News about 2024 next. We would like to thank Jenny Kane for their support of Satellite Sisters. Thanks, Jenny. We really appreciate it. Jenny Kane is a California brand through and through with staples that make getting dressed easier than ever before. But Liz, let's talk about your go-to holiday sweater that you arrived with at my house the other day. Tell the folks about your cashmere half zip, Liz.
Cashmere half zip in ivory. I bought it. I wore it to your home for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I wore it again later Thanksgiving weekend to a Friendsgiving. I'm going to wear it to everything I go to this holiday season. It is, because it's sort of elevated but simple.
Yes.
So cashmere half zip in that color, it's gorgeous and so comfortable, so unbelievably comfortable. So it's great with like fancier pants or just a pair of blue jeans or whatever. So could not be happier, could not be more pleased.
You know what? That's the kind of staples that Jenny Kane's has, those things you want to live in every single day. And you're going to look great every day because it's beautiful, high quality, delicious cardigan in an ever flattering color.
Yes.
Of ivory. Looked absolutely great on you. I don't see, you could wear that everywhere, Liz. I'm just going to say that. And that's why we love Jenny Kane. And we're so grateful for their support. If you want to gift yourself and your loved ones the best gift of all, it's Jenny Kane. Satellite Sisters listeners get 15% off their first order when you use our code SISTERS at jennykane.com. That's 15% off your first order, JENNIKAYNE at jennykane.com, code SISTERS. Let getting dressed be one less thing to worry about this holiday. Liz, I'm excited. You know what's going to arrive any minute here at my house?
Santa?
Better than Santa, Liz. Better than Santa.
Better than Santa. What is
Butcher
it?
box. My butcher box,
Oh
Liz.
my God. Holiday butcher box. You're going to be so ready for the season.
I am. I mean, this is it. It's delicious, wholesome meals I'm going to be making because Butcher Box takes the guesswork out of finding high quality meat with humanely raised beef, pork, chicken, seafood, and as I mentioned, delivered to my doorstep. And after a long, busy day, there's no better feeling than just reaching into that freezer and knowing that I have something that I can trust to make for my family. And guess what I'm getting myself? It's pot roast weather here, Liz. So I'm excited to have a pot
here in
roast
Southern
right.
California. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Pot roast, yummy.
So I planned ahead and I cannot wait when that butcher box arrives. I'm going to defrost that pot roast. It's happening this week because the temperature has dipped under 70 degrees. And so if you want to get the high quality meat, the convenience, the great customer service, here's what you do. You're going to sign up at butcherbox.com/sisters and use code SISTERS to get free chicken wings for a year. That's right. That's 3 pounds of free range organic chicken wings free in every order for a year when you sign up at butcherbox.com/sisters and use code SISTERS. butcherbox.com/sisters and use code SISTERS. Thanks, ButcherBox. Liz, Lian, and Julie, Satellite Sisters, and we're back. All right, Liz and Julie, one of the lists in the book that caught my eye when we were reviewing Uncommon Senses for this series was "It's never a perfect time to ... And we make the case in the book that, you're never really, life is just going to happen whether you want it to or not, and you can't always calendarize change. So it's never a perfect time to get married, get divorced, go back to school, have a baby is a classic, quit your job, ask for a raise, take a vacation, talk to your kids about sex and drugs, get adult braces. Never a good time, never a perfect time to get adult braces, but sometimes you need them. Clean out your closets, move, get in shape, write a will, go on a blind date, or set 3 new goals for the year. But at Satellite Sisters, we're kind of planners, and we've been thinking about our futures.
Yeah, Lian. And, 2 things we've learned throughout Satellite Sisters history, but especially recently during the pandemic and at the Big Fun Weekend, is how strong and supportive the Satellite Sisterhood is, and how much you enjoy being connected to each other as well as to us. And as a result, Satellite Sisters is just much more than a podcast. We say that all the time. It's a true community. We get so much pleasure reading what you share with each other in our social areas, watching how you help each other, giving each other all kinds of advice in the Facebook.
So much advice.
It's crazy what people ask and what they learn. And also seeing things like the holiday gift exchange that just spontaneously, organically pops up in the community, or the local groups you've created on your own to stay connected to each other, having nothing to do with us.
It's been great. But we started off this segment by saying that it's never a perfect time to fill in the blank. But in this case, we do think it's the right time to announce that we're going to be making some changes in 2024, and we wanted to share them with you now. First off, this will be our last season of new episodes of Satellite Sisters. We'll be ending the production of new podcasts next week on December 5th, 2023. There'll be news on what's happening in 2024 in a bit. But for now, please know that it has been an amazing run, over 2 decades long, laughs, tears, mediocre advice, poor takes on news stories, a lot more laughs. And in every form of the show, from our weekly 1-hour public radio show to our nationally syndicated daily radio gig to 14 years in our closets, doing what became a pioneering podcast for women, we have loved turning on our mics and talking to each other and talking to you. We are so proud of the show we've created and the conversations we've started. And now we just want to make room for some new adventures in our lives.
But first, we want to thank you, our listeners. From the very first show, we never had to explain what a satellite sister was. You got it. You wrote to us about your running group, your book club, your college friends. We thank you for being interested in the topics that we were interested in: family, work, relationships, and community. You have demonstrated infinite patience, adaptability as we change networks, platforms, and technologies.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Right?
Yes. So many changes all the way through.
And over the years of conversation, you became more than listeners. You really became our friends and our community. You provided comfort, rock-solid advice, and gentle and useful feedback, and so much civility to our community. Now, we just love you all, and we love you. You are our friends. Your humor, your intelligence, your empathy, your strength. Ours is a very important relationship that has made our lives so much more special. We hold you close, and we thank you so much.
So going back to what I said at the top about the power of the Satellite Sisters community, I want to talk about the things we can all look forward to in 2024, the ways we'll all stay connected even while we're all on our own adventures. So first of all, we will produce 25 episodes of what we're calling Satellite Sisters Rediscovered. And these are episodes from our hidden archives. We've mentioned before that we have some classic material from radio and early podcast days that we've never been able to publish because of music rights issues and other stuff. So we are going to re-edit those so that we can release a new Satellite Sisters Rediscovered episode every 2 weeks. And, it's so funny. A lot of these episodes on our platform, they don't even have show notes. So we have to go through them. It's going to be a surprise to us what's in them, too. So we are really looking forward to rediscovering the Satellite Sisters in those early days. But it means you'll be getting 25 episodes that will include some of your favorite segments, including dun, 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 the return of Sheila and Monica in Lab Rats and Cozy Couch and other stuff. So we will still be your friends in your ears. And, I don't know about anyone else, but I might even try firing up the mic from time to time and sharing something new with you in the podcast feed. Expect surprises. The feed could hold anything.
Okay.
2024.
Yes. That's a good one, Liz. I like it.
Okay, we're also going to be continuing new content and occasional live drop-ins on all of our social media feeds. So in the Facebook group, on the Facebook page, on the Instagram channel, and on the YouTube channel, as well as on our website, satellitesisters.com. So be sure you are following and subscribing to all of these to stay connected. And the links to all those things are always in the show notes, as we say. And, I was thinking, sisters, I might experiment with some new audio and video. I think maybe cooking with Liz, that time has come and gone. I mean, that's a chapter that I could close. But, I'm just thinking of this new material as what a working title, as we say in Hollywood, that's just called Test Batch. Right?
Oh, I like it, Liz.
There might be an occasional test
I see a T-shirt in that.
I like it. One of the things we started during the pandemic that I have really enjoyed doing is Pep Talk. And so Pep Talk will continue. It'll be bi-weekly, the same weeks that the Satellite Sisters Rediscovered episodes are posted. You're going to get a Pep Talk. So basically twice a month with the same news, talk, laughs, and links to more good stuff. We'll probably put a little bit more news, talk, and laugh links in there too. Also, in the spring, I will be out on a book tour. So I'm not going to be, I'm not going to the south of France and never leaving. No, I'm going to be out working working plenty in 2024.
Hustling, always hustling.
Yes. And that the Marriage Sabbatical will come out April 2nd. There are already dates on my calendar for April, including Hello, South Dakota. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That will be an adventure, Lian.
So excited. Thanks to a couple of Satellite Sisters who came to the Big Fun Weekend. South Dakota residents, book lovers, and people who used to organize these book festival there. I've been invited to the South Dakota Book Festival in September. And so hopefully a lot of other dates will fill in. If not, hello, South Dakota. We do want to mention...
That will be an adventure, Leah. Have you ever been to the Dakotas?
No, I have not.
Okay,
I'm actually pretty excited. And I don't want to say it, but it's kind of close to Iowa, where I've also never been. So who knows? I could be doing a little mini tour out there in September. Just thinking about that. Even if it's just for me, there's some places I'd like to see there. Yeah. And then our sponsors are going to continue to support the 25 Satellite Sisters Rediscovered episodes, which is great. It allows us to actually re-edit all the shows and put them up and host them on platforms. So we want to thank them for continuing to support us, and thank you for continuing to support the sponsors.
So we will stay connected to you on Satellite Sisters. And it's interesting, we're doing the Sense of Adventure this week because it did cause all of us, the three of us, to reflect on what an adventure doing the Satellite Sisters show podcast has been. And when you think about the elements of an adventure, it usually starts with a plan, right? And Liz had the preposterous idea that we should do a radio show that sounded like our telephone conversations or when we got together. Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah,
and look at how that turned out. It was excellent.
Yes.
It's a very fine idea. The plan itself was sketchy, but the concept was important, Julie.
Yes, it was. And then, like any adventure, things happen. Somehow, we scrape together some funds to set this plan in motion. And then there was a lot of what I can only describe as serendipity and surprise that helped to really build momentum with this adventure. We met great people, right?
Oh my gosh,
and
so many great
fantastic.
people.
We met
Yep.
so many great people. We're talking about you, Corny Cole. Yes, ma'am. We're talking about John McConnell. Yes, sir. Okay. And so many others, but it was an adventure that pushed us out of our comfort zone. And I laughed when I wrote that because I was like, comfort zone? That would assume that we were like radio talk show hosts before we started this. We were not radio talk show hosts before we started the Satellite Sisters radio show, were we, Liz? No.
No,
Lian
but we were actual sisters. So we had that going for us.
I mean, I feel
Yes.
like we're still out of our comfort zone every
And
single
Lian,
week.
you had done some college radio.
Yes, I had. I was a DJ in college. It was very different than this, though. what we're doing now. But yeah, I mean, we used to say we're not experts, we're just sisters. But I do feel like somehow over the last 23 years, we have become experts, really, and in our little corner of the women's media world.
Of so many people around us. Yes, I think we got better at what we wanted to do and what we wanted to communicate. And, part of that was our listeners. They helped us really raise our game as well. But we had some setbacks, right? I mean, that it wasn't all smooth sailing. I mean, I think that was the way showbiz works. But when you think about it over the last 2 decades, that we all survived 9/11. Liz, you were way downtown during that. We've had wars. We just had a global pandemic. Okay. Okay. I've moved several countries. Liz, you had to move to LA. Sheila moved to LA. Then she moved back to New York. I mean, we've done the show in deluxe studios, right? With catering.
Those were the days. Yeah.
Catering.
Oh, yeah, when Miley Cyrus was in the studio next to us, we got to eat her catering.
It was excellent. But we also have done the show in our closets.
Yes.
And sisters have stepped out of the show. But without a doubt, this has been an adventure of a lifetime.
Yes. Julie, we've kept talking throughout the death of both of our parents. And, and those were very hard episodes to do. So sometimes there were some gaps per week, but we always came back to it. And it was always useful to be here and be able to turn on the mics and talk about something. So we did it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it. No, and we have loved, I think, every minute that we've been behind the microphones. There's no doubt about that. And I'm excited for what we're all going to do next year and in the future. We're going to tell people about that next week in the sense of direction. I think I will not be going up in a rocket. Okay.
And Julie won't be going up in a hot air balloon. So we know that. I really haven't figured out what I'm doing, but I have a week. So TikTok, I'm working on it.
Okay.
I will say, though, the best moments of the show or the adventure over 23 years were definitely the moments because we have always done the show not in the same place. I think people maybe don't understand how little time we've spent together over 23 years doing the show. Realistically, given the number of shows we've done, we would spend, especially when Julie lived abroad or even during pandemics or various things, we would spend probably less than a week together most years, actually all in the same room. So the most fun days were just remember when we went to Chico's and we got outfitted for the Oprah tour? That was great.
That was
so fun. So fun.
We had that TV meeting with Lisa Kudrow. It was good.
Oh yeah, that was big. There was good catering at that place too.
Everybody else in entertainment has catering. So that's good. We figured that out.
We had a couple of those awesome free trips to Disney World to
oh my God.
Fantastic. The Animal Kingdom Lodge. So some of the most fun things were just the behind the scenes stuff that just was indescribable. That we never thought we'd be there. Definitely pinch me moments. And you're right. It's been the adventure of a lifetime. All right, next week, we are going to tell you where we're headed personally. That's in the sense of direction. And next segment, we have a few things we still want to talk about. So stay with us. This holiday season, if you want to give a gift to your loved ones that makes them feel special and unique, just like the relationship we share here at Satellite Sisters, think about giving Storyworth. Storyworth is an online service that helps you and your loved ones preserve precious memories and stories for years to come. It's a thoughtful, meaningful gift that connects you to those who matter most. And Julie, I understand you gave Storyworth to yourself. Can you explain?
Lian, this is a brilliant idea for every grandparent, every favorite aunt out there. I am writing the book of Julie, the story of Julie, okay? And I'm going to share it with my grandchildren. Now, Lian, you know I'm not a writer, but with Storyworth, I can pre-select prompts that are going to be sent to me each week, and then I write them. For example, what is my favorite comfort food? Do you know what it is, Lian?
Pot roast.
No, you don't know. You're going to have to wait till you see the book. Okay, I'm not telling you. Or here's another prompt I picked. What was my wedding like? I can't wait to write about my wedding so that my grandchildren, when they read the book, they'll know all these details that they didn't know about. And some of the prompts, and you can certainly tweak the prompts if they're not exactly right, which I think is a great feature. You can upload photographs, again, a great feature. But some of the prompts are like more insightful, like what was a small decision that ended up having a big impact on my life? And so I really think about that and really, discover some things about myself as I go through this. But it's easy. You can do it. If you never thought you could write a book, now you can share these really important memories so that your family, your extended family can know about your whole life. Isn't that a wonderful idea?
It is a wonderful idea. All right, Julie. And Storyworth, after a year, they're going to compile all of the stories, the photos, and put them in a beautiful keepsake book that you'll be able to share and revisit for generations to come. And you'll have it done. Good work. I'm proud of you. This is a fantastic idea. With Storyworth, we're giving those we love the most a thoughtful, personal gift from the heart and preserving their memories and stories for years to come. Go to storyworth.com/satellite and save $10 on your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/satellite to save $10 on your first purchase. Storyworth.com/satellite. Thanks, Storyworth. Julie, it's the time in Satellite Sisters when we get to talk about our favorite brand of beauty products, and that is Osea. Oh, it's the holiday, and it's approaching faster and faster, but we know what we're giving our people, don't we, Jewel?
Giving them Osea. Lian, I took a picture of every Osea product I own, which is quite a few, and I sent them to my friends because I was like, you have to get this stuff. I am also ordering extra Undaria algae body oil because I think that just makes a great gift to give to friends, to neighbors. It's unexpected. It's a little exotic, but it's such a wonderful product, right?
Well, Julie, you want to check out Osea's Super Glow Body Set because they are taking the guesswork out of gift giving. It's a beautifully put together limited edition box set featuring 3 of Osea's best-selling products. It's the Undaria Algae Body Oil that we love, love, love. Mm-hmm. It's the Undaria Cleansing Body Polish. And then you get a travel size Undaria Algae Body Butter. And it's packed in a box so beautiful. You don't even have to gift wrap, Joel, because we're not good at that. So it's speaking for us, we're not good at gift wrapping, but someone else is. So it's the perfect gift for anyone. So there you go. You're set.
Yeah, I'm going to buy one for me and one for somebody else. Yeah, that's the way I roll.
That's the way you do it. Give the gift of glow this holiday season with clean vegan skincare from Osea. And right now we have a special discount just for Satellite Sisters listeners. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code SATSisters at OseaMalibu.com. Osea is spelled O-S-E-A. OseaMalibu.com. Head to OseaMalibu.com and use code SATSisters for 10% off. Thanks, Osea. Satellite sisters and misters, you know we love our pros, and they're truly custom made to order hair care. Switching to a custom routine from Pros was one of the best things I've done for my hair. Liz, what do you think? Is it one of the best things you've done for your hair?
Yeah, I took the quiz, I put in all the info they wanted about me, but I really put the focus on I would like my hair to be shinier. And I'm not that complicated. I just want shiny hair. And boom, what do I have? I have shinier hair, Lian.
Pros knows there's more to you than just your hair type, and they've given over 1 million consultations with this in-depth hair quiz. That's how we all got started. So you're answering all kinds of questions so they can really customize that mix for you. You want shiny hair and you live in this zip code and the weather in your zip code is X, Y, and Z. Pros is going to take care of you. We just love our Pro shampoo, and now they have a fantastic deal in time for the end of the year. If you're thinking part of my, strategy for the new year is to get my hair looking great, you are going to want to listen to this. Custom made to order hair care from Pros has your name all over it. Take your free in-depth hair consultation and get 50% off your first subscription order today. Plus 15% off and free shipping every subscription order after that. Let me read that again.
Yeah, it's good. 50% off. That is a super good deal. 5-0.
It is 50% off your first subscription order today, plus 15% off and free shipping on every subscription order after that. Go to pros.com/sisters. That's pros, PROSE.com/sisters for your free in-depth hair consultation and 50% off your first subscription order. Thanks, Pros.
As we said, next week's show, the theme is sense of direction. And it's our final new show. So we thought, we were going to change the schedule a little bit and move it up. So on next week's show, we're going to be announcing our themes for 2024. So you can look forward to that. I'm also going to post in the Facebook group a thread where you can post your themes for 2024, what you're thinking about, what's important to you. Of course, we still want to hear all of that and carry on that conversation with you. So 2024 themes coming up on Sense of Direction. But now we want to talk a little bit about adventures we'd like to have. That as we think about our lives and what's going on in our lives, what's on our list. And I'm going first because I don't know the answer to this. So
That's an unusual position for you, Liz. Yes.
Thank you, Julie. I know it's a total TBD for me because I don't have any burning desire to travel someplace new or take up some death-defying hobby, but I do really need to change it up in a big way. Or as you were saying in the previous segment, Julie, get out of my comfort zone. So I am working on plans for that. And I'm going to share some of the details on what I'm thinking on next week's Sense of Direction episode. But I have to work on my material a little bit on that. I don't want to commit to anything that is totally impossible. So that's my adventure. Julie, how about you?
When I think about adventures, particularly at this time of year when there's a lot of gift giving, I think adventure is what I want to give to all 5 of my grandchildren, that I want to have experiences together with them to show them a bigger world, whether it's a trip or even, a visit to a library, a museum, or concert. I want them to be adventurous, not too adventurous, not that make me nervous, but I think it's, so as I think about gifts for my grandchildren, I am planning things that are more experiences rather than things, because I feel like it will bring us closer together, but more importantly, it provides them with such a great foundation about adventure and about embracing change, embracing getting out of their comfort zone and doing new and different things, because that will help them throughout their life. So that's the first thing. The other adventure that I want to do more of in 2024 is more time with my brothers and sisters. Okay, we did the family reunion this year. Now you two may be shocked. Lian was just saying in the last segment that we really don't spend that much time together. Well, sister, you better get that guest room ready because I'm coming to California.
Okay. All right. That'll be fun.
All right. Well, you're saying now, Liz, but you may be regretting it.
Home, but sure, come on over. Because I don't know what I'm doing next year, but okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, but if anything this year has told us is like time, life is precious.
Yes.
And to be around loved ones is to make the time for that is really important. And I include in that group of loved ones my lifelong friends. So get ready, people. My bags are packed. Okay.
All right. Mine is also vague like Liz's because I'm trying to think of something new I can do with my husband. And please don't say pickleball. Okay. Because we are, I'm not doing that. I feel like we need something to do together, like a new activity or a focus. I mean, that gets us out of the house. We need to get out of our house. I mean, we spend a lot of time in our house and then we spend a lot of time in our yard. And
well, that's why your garden is so beautiful and your new trellis and everything. It's really paid off for you, Lian.
It has paid off.
Spend so much time in your backyard.
It has paid off, but I feel like we're at a point in our life where we need to make some new social connections, and that's probably not going to happen in our backyard. So, maybe it's. I mean, if he was musical, I would say we should join like community theater. Like that's the kind of thing I'm looking for.
Okay.
So, something like that.
You and your husband in community theater. Whoa,
but
that's something.
He's not musical, so that won't be happening. Yeah. Maybe there's a volunteer organization that we can join together, although he's not really a volunteer. So, but we're going to find something that we can do together that A, gets us out of the house, B, helps us to meet new people, enriches our social circle. I think those would all be good. It'll probably be, he does like music, even though he can't perform music. So I don't know, maybe there's some like, maybe we can travel with, I don't know, like people used to travel with the Dead. Maybe we can find a band to travel with. I don't know, you guys. But
that sounds fun. Get out of your comfort zone, man. Yeah.
We need something to do.
All right,
together.
just get yourself a plan. That's
but maintain the spontaneity. That's the tough combo. Yeah.
That is that is it. All right. That is the end of our show for today. We have been very lucky to have worked with such a talented group of professionals over the last 23 years in all kinds of industries, from radio to podcasting to publishing to magazine writing to speaking. We have really enjoyed all those pieces of Satellite Sisters. People that we've worked with have made us better and made the show better, and we're so grateful for their contributions. Two of those people, Sergio Enriquez, who will be sticking around and doing some editing for us. Thank you, Sergio. We've been so grateful to for your contributions to the show, and we look forward to working with you more. Emily Boragine is our graphic designer, and she was pretty sad. So, Emily, don't worry. We're going to have some assignments for you, Emily. Stay tuned. Stay tuned, Emily.
I can move you into the merch department, Emily.
When Liz opens her pop-up shop next year.
Anything could happen. I said, expect the unexpected.
All right. A big thanks to our sponsors. They have supported the show and really made it possible for us to do what we do for the last bunch of years. A big thanks to you for supporting those sponsors. It's an important loop, and we appreciate you supporting their products. Our to-do list today is kind of special. We're going back to a piece in Uncommon Senses. Liz, I'll let you set it up.
Oh, yeah. This one really made me laugh, Lian. So in Uncommon Senses, we have a piece called Ruts, where we talk about individually all the ruts that we are in. And so we define ruts this way. Here's what it says in the book. Everyone gets into ruts, except for our sister Sheila, who claims to reinvent herself every day. She has habits, she argues, but not ruts. What's the difference? A habit is a semi-conscious choice. A rut is a lazy choice. Okay, so sisters, I'm going to ask you about the ruts that are in the book, and if you're still in them, and see if you can generate a rut-related to-do.
That's not easy. Not easy to say. Okay.
Rut-related. Okay, Lian, this made me laugh. You're such a trendsetter. Listeners know that you practically invented cheeseboarding.
Yeah.
But here's another thing that you brought back. Your rut in the book says cottage cheese 3 meals a day. And I just want to point out like how trendy cottage cheese is now. Cottage cheese is back. You brought it back.
Thank you. I mean, that was 20 years ago. I just have always been a fan of cottage cheese. Big fan.
Okay. So do you have a rut related to do?
All right. So I know one of the other ruts in the book was that I just was struggling to get out of my sweatpants and, leisure wear. So again, trendsetting. And I have to say, I have not done that well on that. I mean, there were days when I had to leave the house. When we went to the studio, I wore real clothes. And when I go out to do speaking gigs, I wear real clothes. But for the most part, I don't wear that many real clothes anymore. And, I did have a moment like 2 weeks ago where I looked at myself in the mirror and I thought, what am I doing here? I need to put on some real clothes during the day. I need to get out of these, stretched out yoga pants. So I have consciously bought some new items, pieces that are comfortable, but look and feel like real clothes, Liz, that look like hard pants, pants with zippers.
Yes, this is an admirable goal you're working on.
Yeah. It's radical. It's radical.
So the other day my husband came home at like 6 and I was in some real clothes and he said, "Oh, are you going somewhere?" I was like, no, this is it. I'm wearing clothes like this now.
Well, it's hard in California because nobody's wearing real clothes. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Okay, Julie, in the book, this is a funny one. You wrote, owns many pairs of earrings, wears the same pair every day. So just wondering, how's that going for you?
Well, I reread that. I laughed. I was like, I'm still in that rut. So I just expect big things from my ears going forward. That's all I'm going to say. I am going to address this. There's going to be a lot of ear action in 2024. I'm breaking up with this rut.
Okay. All right. We want to
taking you 20 years, but you're really committing now. Good.
I think we're going to hold you to post photos in the Facebook group. Every time you change your earrings, once a month.
I got some earrings. I got some good ones.
Okay. All right. And for me, I wrote that I wore black pants and black shoes every day for the last decade. And that was my rut. But I would like to point out that's now called a capsule wardrobe. So I think I was way ahead of the curve on that one. And I also listed balsamic vinegar as my condiment of choice. And obviously that will never change. I have no desire to change that. So the rut I'm in now that I want to get out of is this. Too much texting instead of calling, right? Yeah. Texting is an easy thing. You want to stay connected. I mean, and it's great. We have recommended this on Satellite Sisters a lot. If you can't do anything else, at least send a little text.
Yeah.
But I think the more ambitious goal for me is to do more actual calling. Never mind, Julie's doing all the face-to-face work, traveling around. I'll
be looking forward to these phone calls, Liz. This is going to be great. I hope I'm on the list. If you don't call me, I'm going to really feel badly.
Well, I assume we're just keeping our weekly production call on the calendar, and we'll just check in on other things. But anyway, so my goal for the year, the rut I want to get out of is texting instead of calling. So I want to do more calling, which of course brings us back to the most fundamental thing of all that we always say, which is call your satellite sister.
That's right. Sisters, have a great week. Listeners, thank you so much. There's more information on the blog. If you want, head over to satellitesisters.com. And don't forget, call your satellite sister.